One, so far I believe the government has tried to establish this idea that there's just one thing to think about, and that's your pocket money right now, what you have. And we're saying you have to think about your overall benefits. We're talking about costs and benefits. It may cost you this much, but your benefits are going to be here at the end of the day when you help support your local economy, when you help support your own health system, when you help support your family, when you're doing the right things and moving in the right direction. And I'd also like to point out again, a big area for me is that they say we have no arguments and no evidence to support. I believe now that I've given that through my soil science education here, and with the last speaker who did clearly state that organic materials have been proven time and time again to be 2 to 10 times more packed with nutrients. And finally, I want to talk about the idea of a weighing mechanism being misconstrued here. We started out with more true than false being a fact case, and that's what we want to stay true with. And I think we've proven time and time again for our arguments here with my leader of opposition here, Joe, and myself, that these things are more true than false. It is true that you can do these things. And the resolution says that can you or can you not do it? You can do it. You can make this happen. It's something you can budget in. It's the time you can put into it. Make your own garden if you don't have one, if you have the space. You can't go to your local markets. And the last thing I want to touch on is inner city. There is an infrastructure in place for inner cities to be able to access organic markets. You can go on websites, find them all over the place. The time is not an issue, and getting those resources is also not an issue. So for all those reasons today, I do urge you for an opposition ballot, and also because we're students.
Let's just go over a couple of things. Obviously, we talked about the weighing mechanism time and time again, that we have this more true than false weighing mechanism. I'm going to stick with that idea. With that being said, I'm going to go over what's called the voters. I'm going to explain this for you. These are a couple of reasons we feel that it's more false than true against the government here, that you can afford rather than you cannot afford. And I'm going to point out I'll remember as I go along. Reasons why we feel that you should feel comfortable voting for us, because you can indeed afford to eat organically. So with that being said, let me get into those couple of the reasons so you can feel comfortable voting for us today. The hidden tax and tariffs seems like the government wants to keep them hidden. No. We really want to point out that they are hidden, and we get charged for them in the long run, and it's going to hurt your wallet in the long run. You might think, that dollar burger right now, but later on it'll hurt you. Kind of like, later on it'll hurt you. Okay, but in the wallet too. All right. That's very important. Also, we want to talk about the health aspect as it relates to your wallet. It may be cheaper to eat not organically now, but as my partner pointed out with that whole triple bypass surgery thing, and seeing the doctors are finding out that you have to now take supplements, or you now have to take different vitamins, or you have to change your diet radically because of the way you have been previously eating. That's going to cost you a lot of money. It's going to hurt your wallet. It's going to be an economic thing. I've talked to people about this. Really, it's going to hurt you in the long run. You want to keep that in mind. So that's the second reason you should see that you can afford. They brought up the idea of this marginal benefit and this cost benefit. But again, something we all agreed on earlier, I feel, was the idea of helping your local economy. And we need to help our local economy because the big economy. So help your local economy. You want to realize that may indeed shift into cheaper prices. As we demand more organic foods, there will be a higher supply of organic foods, and the prices will go down, and you will be able to afford them. But we got to get started. So this is the idea of the grassroots economy that my partner brought up, and also the benefits of eating organically. Again, the nutrition, and going back to the whole doctor's thing. Smart, etc. All right, environments. That's something that they brought up, and how we know the environment ordeal. But I'm going to again talk about how this hurts your wallet by helping our environment and helping our local environment. In turn, again, helps your local economy. But again, your environment. If the environment starts doing poor, what do we see? We see taxes again to help upkeep the environment, to help keep the environment going, to make sure we don't get rid of national parks or local parks. We need to tax you to keep those going, tax you to keep our agriculture going. These are all environmental issues, and again, you get taxed to upkeep those issues. So if our environment starts doing bad because we're not eating organically and doing what we could for our environment, it starts to go down, we get costs up. You see the correlation. All right. Something they brought up, this is my last thing, talk about available in cities and how in the city you couldn't get it, I only got 30 seconds. We see that you can get them in cities. We had a speaker here, she talked about maybe you can get them shipped to you. You could, even if you took that one day to drive, buy it at the farmer's market, take it home. She talked about how you can seal it, how you can freeze it, keep it in your fridge, keep it good for you, you're going to be okay. So again, you get it shipped to you, you can drive out that one-time thing, and it's well worth that bang for your buck. That I recommend the conversation.
Recognize the Prime Minister in the final rebuttal of 5 minutes.
So again, I want to thank you all for being here, and especially everyone who's awake, because I'm a faculty member, and that just doesn't happen very often. So I'm a faculty member. I'll look at that again for you. And the truth is, I'm a new faculty member, so I'm just coming to embrace my elitism, elitism in particular. And I would really love to really embrace this and buy a hybrid car, right? That would just be great. Wouldn't that be so much fun? Then I'd be cool, right? But I can't afford it right now. I'm a new faculty member. Times are tough. Economics, being where they are, I just can't afford it right now. That's the argument we're making. Not that organic food is bad, just that you can't afford it right now. Because the premise that we're arguing is not that it's bad, it's just that it's more true than false that American families today cannot afford to buy organic. Even if we conceded that organic food benefits outweigh the cost, which we don't. The fact is, the main point here tonight, and the thing our opponents have missed, is how this affects your bottom line. What can you honestly afford to go to the grocery store tonight and purchase? So, as it turns out, I actually have to go to the grocery store tonight and purchase a few things. I'm not making this up for the sake of argument. I genuinely have to pick a few things up. And milk is one of them. If you have to make the same trip tonight, what do you go to the grocery store for? Do you pick up that organic milk because it seems like a great idea, but you know how expensive it is. You know what you can afford. I think right now, you pick up the milk that you can afford. For example, after this debate, I need a drink. And so, right now, what can I afford in my non-driving hybrid status? And right now, what I can afford is the bottom shelf stuff, right? Not the great things. Even though I would desperately like to be like Bertie Bird and drink that milk, right? And I can't. It's a stinger. We'll use the term stinger loosely tonight. So we're not talking about quality. We're talking about affordability. We're talking about, can you afford these products? Maybe after a while, buying organically could trickle up and affect your community. And we should maybe think about that. That's a great idea to support local farmers, right? Who's going to say, no, we shouldn't do that? No one up here at least. But can we do it right now? Can American families today afford to make those decisions? Or are those the kinds of decisions that we start making slowly but surely, but we always look at our budget, what we can afford, what our families can afford. And so it is more true than false that American families today, in these economic times, cannot afford to eat organic food. This is why we should win. These are the voters that we would like you to focus on. The main one being that it is expensive to buy organic food, more expensive to buy organic food than it is to buy regular food that you might already be purchasing. That it affects your bottom line negatively. The proportion of your budget when buying organic food would increase. And that quality and affordability are two different things. And as we've stated here tonight, we're talking about affordability, not quality. So we urge a vote for the government on this issue, because it is more true than false, as we have proved over and over and over again, that it is more, that American families today cannot afford